My name is Don Quarles, and I am a teacher at South Paulding High School located in Paulding County, Georgia. My data overview will consist of high school students from grades 9 through 12. For this presentation, my audience will consist of school administration, department chairs, and the school improvement team. The purpose of the presentation will be to observe, analyze, and reflect on data results to provide solutions as well as a plan of action to enhance student learning through the school improvement plan goals. I will be making this presentation available on May 20, 2024. The objectives of the data overview are to review data for South Paulding High School, Paulding County School District, and the state of Georgia for 2019, 2022, and 2023, while identifying strengths, weaknesses, areas of improvement, and goals for improvement. Questions used to guide this analysis include patterns and trends found in the data, unexpected data results, and any inferences or explanations for the results. In determining proficiency levels of students, questions I used for data analysis include: what strengths do students show in the content area? What areas of improvement are detected? What specific needs should be targeted to improve student learning and performance? Sources used for this data overview comes from CCRPI, the Georgia Department of Education downloadable data sources, and the Georgia EOC milestone scores. For the 2019 school year, South Paulding High School was trailing behind both the school district and the state. South Paulding High School had an overall score of 73.7 despite the overall score for the district scoring 79.4 being higher than the state score of 78.8. The Georgia Department of Education released the 2022 and 23 CCRPI reports. However, under the waiver received for the U.S. Department of Education, the CCRPI does not include an overall score for schools, districts, or the state. The South Paulding High School student population has seen an increase from the 2018-2019 school year to the 2021-22 school year, with a minuscule decrease for the 23 school year by 6 students. Increase of EL and students with disabilities for South Paulding High School across the 3 years examined. The explanation could be the school choice availability because South Paulding has become known in the district as the school to go to if you have a child with a 504 or an IEP. Increase in the economically disadvantaged population could be due to programs and initiatives put in place for COVID. After these programs ceased, the number of economically disadvantaged students have increased. Now 40% of the student population is economically disadvantaged. Even with the increase in student population between 2019 and 2022, the ratio of female and male students has remained steady, with female students coming in slightly higher than male students. Disaggregated data based on race and ethnicity shows that the majority of the South Paulding population is white. However, the data shows a decrease of 6.4% since 2019 in the majority population, while at the same time there has been an increase in the black population by 4.6% and the Hispanic population by 2%. This shift reflects the increase of ELL and ED student population due to school choice, as well as the shift in housing and the job market that has taken place in Paulding County. Between 2022 and 23, there was an increase of 2.1% in the black student population. What was surprising was the slight decrease in the Hispanic population by 0.7%. It made me wonder if the students left to follow one of our teachers who went to a different high school the students were close to. Since the 2018-19 school year, there has been an increase in absenteeism for South Paulding High School, Paulding County School District, and the state. An explanation for the increase of absenteeism could be economic hardship, where students are working to contribute to the household. students less likely to come to school sick since the pandemic, or the noticeable increase in apathy many have noticed in the student population in the last few years. In a report from 2021 based on EdWeek's survey, chronic absenteeism has increased since the pandemic. Nationally, studies show student absences have doubled during the pandemic, and close to 45% of teachers reported students had much lower levels of engagement with schoolwork than before the pandemic. For South Paulding High School, students missed 6 to 15 days, more than 15 days, and chronic absenteeism has increased each year since the pandemic. Chronic absenteeism has almost doubled for white students, while there has still been a 1% to 5% increase for both Hispanic and Black students. Based on information from the Georgia Department of Education, missing more than 5 days of school each year begins to impact academic performance and starts shaping attitudes about school. Anything over 5 days of unexpected absences is considered truant. If a student misses more than 10% or more of school days, that becomes chronic absenteeism and is a lead indicator for student dropouts. South Paulding High School students who missed more than 15 days increased across every ethnicity by 4% to as great as 23.2% from 2019 to 2023. South Paulding had the highest trending level of absenteeism in more than 15 days absent, while Paulding County had the highest amount of absenteeism in 6 to 15 days absent. South Paulding High School showed the highest level of absenteeism with 27.4%, while Paulding County had a 24.3%, and the state had a 22.9% absenteeism rate. Across the 3 years of data, all subgroups saw an increase in the graduation rate. What must be analyzed is whether this was an improvement in academics for graduating seniors, given graduation initiative programs for our school, or if the expectations have been decreased to allow for improvement in the graduation percentage. South Paulding Class School is close to Paulding County School District, hovering around 90% graduation rate. Both are outperforming the state, who saw an increase from 82% to 84.4%. Unlike the state, South Paulding and Paulding County have a very small transient, homeless, and migrant student population, which is harmful to student success. This may or may not have been a part of the explanation. Teachers at South Paulding High School are predominantly female over the 3 years observed. Race and ethnicity show that the largest race with 76.78% is white. The next largest group would be Black with 14.28% of the teacher population. Hispanic teachers account for 1.7% of the teacher population. For 2023, an estimated 49% of teachers at South Paulding hold a master's degree, 25% hold a bachelor's degree, 15% hold a specialist, and 2% hold a PhD. Approximately 35% of teachers have less than 10 years experience, 29% have been 11 to 15 years experience, 35% have between 21 and 30 years experience, and 2% have more than 30 years experience teaching. A growing concern will be 35% of the teacher population reaching retirement age soon. A positive benefit of teaching at South Paulding is that those with higher certificates and years of experience are valued despite the increased cost to the district to retain these teachers. 2021-22 school year saw a decrease in content mastery, going from 70 to 60.8. The second year of testing post-COVID saw a slight gain of 61.9, demonstrating progress being made, even if the target goals were not being met. Like South Paulding High School, both Paulding County and the state saw small increases in the overall content mastery scores for the 2022-23 school year. The incremental increase in student achievement demonstrates the positive aspects of students being in the classroom versus remote participation. South Paulding decreased from 88.56 to 75.0 a 12.79 drop to mirror state results. Paulding County also dropped from 91.21 to 81.28, resulting in a decrease of 9.93. Based on absenteeism and truancy increases, this makes sense for a school and district to see this loss of learning. South Paulding High School saw a decrease of 3.72% in beginning learners from 2019-22 and an increase in developing and proficient learners by 8.34% and 0.19% respectively. Paulding County saw an increase in beginning learners and developing learners, but had a decrease in proficient and distinguished learners. The state saw an increase in beginning and distinguished learners. Developing and proficient learners decreased by 2.67% and 3.92% respectively. The second year of resume testing is demonstrating a decrease in distinguished learners for South Paulding, the district, and the state. This could be attributed to the learning loss and absenteeism rates being experienced by each. South Paulding saw an increase in developing learners for all ethnicities and proficient learners for Black, Hispanic, and white students, and distinguished learners for Black, Hispanic, and multiracial students from 2018 to 2019 and the 2021 to 22 school years. The second year of resume testing saw an increase in proficient learners across all races. At first glance, that could be construed as positive until you notice the decrease in distinguished learners, in some cases by more than half. South Paulding saw an improvement in ED students for decreasing beginning learners while increasing developing and proficient learners. There was also a decrease in level 4 proficiency learners by 7.6%, making it worse than Paulding County's drop of 3.1%, but better than the state's decrease of 11.35%. South Paulding saw improvement for students with disabilities across level 1, level 2, and level 3. Paulding County and state both saw improvements in proficiency levels 1 through 4. Areas of strength include South Paulding having highly qualified teachers with many years of experience. Gains are being made in EOC scores with a decrease in beginning learners, an increase in developing learners, and proficient learners. Proficient level learners have gained almost 2% since pre-COVID. The graduation rate had an overall increase from 86.5% to 90.2% and consistently outperformed state percentages by both 4-year graduation rates and 5-year graduation rates. Though behind Paulding County School District, South Paulding has made positive gains and is within 0.5% of the graduation rate for the 22-23 school year. Areas of improvement would be attendance. Chronic absenteeism and truancy have become a real concern as it impacts student success. U.S. history milestone data shows that distinguished level has decreased over the 3 years examined from pre-COVID to post-COVID. South Paulding had a decrease in distinguished learners for our economically disadvantaged and students with disability population, experiencing a 7.6% drop for ED distinguished learners and a 5.29% drop for students with disability distinguished learners between the 2018-19 school year and the 2022-23 school year. Over 40% of our student population is economically disadvantaged. This could potentially impact student learning and academic achievement. Questions to consider. How can we improve student attendance? How can we improve student behavior that would result in a decrease of ISS and OSS referrals? How can the school, and particularly the social studies department, increase and enhance instructional practices that would improve EOC scores in U.S. history? How can teachers use formative and summative assessments to address learning gaps? Should reading strategies to improve literacy and general language skills be chosen by the PLCs, and how will data be collected to ascertain its effectiveness? Break down student achievement of students for core subjects that are majority female, majority male, and evenly distributed. Is there anything there to consider? Collect and analyze data on suicide contemplation and attempts, since it would have an impact on student success as well as social emotional issues. Plan of action. Next steps, implement initiatives to increase our EOC proficiency scores for U.S. history. Find ways to support our ED students using local and government agencies and programs. Provide PL for students, or excuse me, for teachers with ELL students to prepare and train with effective strategies that support student achievement and target specific needs of the student population. Increase instructional reading strategies across all subjects to improve reading comprehension of the entire student population. Develop initiatives to combat the absenteeism problem. Verify collaboration and implementation of effective strategies within PLCs to target needs of students with disabilities, ELL students, and economically disadvantaged student population. Increase SEL initiatives for students to support mental health to combat anxiety, depression, and apathy of the student population. Expand the free reduced cost advanced degree program for teachers to include non-STEM teachers. Many thanks for the dedication of resources and providing necessary data on school progress in the state of Georgia. This concludes the data overview presentation for South Paulding High School. Thank you for your attention.